Hi, I'm glad you could join us. I'm Ed Engels, the coordinator of the program, and with me is one of the administrators, Kevin Dexter, and we're here to talk about the 3 courses that we have in the Sportscasting Institute, which we're really excited about. We have a course for the teens, and we have a course for the adults on sportscasting, and we rolled out a course last year which was I call Video Backpack Journalism, which we'll get into as we go along here. So we're offering 3 courses this summer on the beautiful campus here at Hofstra, and with modernistic facilities, which I think you'll find will meet your needs. Now, we ought to give you a little bit of background about who we are. Who are these 2 guys talking? All right. I'm Ed Engels. I've been doing this, I hate to admit it, 58 years.
Well, they got you wrong up on the screen here. They shorted you 2 years.
You know what happens? After a while, they just forget. Let's say I'm a venerable, all right? I started many years ago, as you can see. I worked at WCBS. The great thing about that job, I did as a sports director, also the morning sportscaster. I traveled all over the world covering events and wound up doing Jets and St. John's, color commentary. And then I came here about 17 years ago, here at Hofstra, where I became a professional in journalism, a professional residence rather, at the School of Communication, where I work at the radio station WRHU. So I had a wonderful time in terms both as an educator and sportscaster. I met some wonderful people. I've had a career of a lifetime. And as I say to students, you don't want a job. You want an adventure. Yep. And that's what we hope to give you, the startup of an adventure. Now, Kevin, you come through a wonderful career at Hofstra. You become an administrator here. Nobody has matched what you've done in my 17 years here in the sports department, and probably the whole radio station. Tell the folks what you've done in the radio station.
Well, I've had quite a bit of experience over the past 4 years. Most recently, I just finished up a run as the color analyst for the New York Islanders on the radio and done games on ESPN radio, on WFAN, specifically in the playoffs. I was also just named as a graduating senior, 3 days until graduation, the #2 collegiate sportscaster in the entire country. So it's been an honor to do that, an honor to work with Ed, and I doing play-by-play for 200 or so games now, Hofstra basketball, Hofstra lacrosse, baseball, a number of different sports. I have a few different real-world, as you'd call it, jobs. So I'm just getting started in my career, but hopefully can provide these students the experience from the younger person's perspective, trying to break in and give them that insight on what I did to get to the point I'm at right now.
Well, we're so proud of what you've achieved, and now you get an opportunity to move out into the professional world, get some stuff going here, and have a little fun, right?
Well, that's the plan.
All right, but you're going to be joining us this summer to work as an instructor, and let's talk about what we're going to give you in the courses. We said this is the 14th year. I think it's almost 16, but things move very quickly. What we want to do, the main thing I really want to do with students that come in, which I think is paramount, is the ability to communicate your thoughts and expressions in life. We want to make you better able to verbalize, and we bring in a vocal coach to do that. She's very good in terms of what she does for lessons to get you involved in terms of improving your ability with your diction, articulation. I'm going to teach you how you have to project. And the other thing, too, Kevin, as you know, writing is so important.
Yeah, writing is crucial in this industry, and especially if you're thinking about broadcasting and specifically sportscasting, you might think, when do I have to write at all? But if you watch the news, for example, you watch the sports guy pop on the news at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 11 o'clock, whenever it is, all of those things they're saying are written. And while play-by-play is not necessarily something that is written, your intros into it are, your throws to the break are written, and a lot of different things go into sportscasting that you need to be a good writer for, and it's important. That's the basic skill in order to get yourself advanced in this field.
Yeah, you can't be a sportscaster without being a good writer. All right. Talk about hands-on experience. Everything you do in the class, you're going to get a copy of. So all the videos and audios, you're going to walk away with a resume on that. We'll start out in the classroom teaching you how to write sports copy, a radio sportscast, and we'll have you record that. And the interesting thing I found is getting people prepared for the interviews we do.
Yeah, the interviews are something that's the most nerve-wracking, I think, especially for someone who is a young sportscaster or an inexperienced sportscaster, because it's not just yourself. You have to deal with making that other person comfortable enough that they give you the proper answers or the answers that you want to get out of them, and dealing with those nerves is something that can be a challenge, and I think it's an asset that we can bring and the other instructors of this course can bring on just how to make someone feel comfortable, how to ask the right style of questions, because it's not just asking questions, it's asking them in a timely fashion, a short, concise, but they get the answer out of the interviewee that you want to get out of them.
And then we teach you what you do with those what we call sound bites. After you get through the interview, you cut those into sound bites, and we're going to show you how to do that too, and how to incorporate that into packages. You see there's the classroom, the studio, the field. You will go to different places to do interviews and stand-up pieces depending on the course. Okay, here's how you're going to hone your skills. We talk about writing for media, TV reporting. All the three of these courses have an element of TV reporting. In the terms of the teens, they'll be standing up at Duck Stadium, when the Round Ducks play the minor league team, and doing a stand-up 90-second piece on the manager of the team. And when we'll talk to Baez, the manager, we'll do an interview with him after we do the stand-up piece, and then we'll take that interview and we'll pick out one soundbite, put that in the piece after in post-production. Now, in both the teens and the adults, you don't do a lot of hands-on editing. It's a practical course, a general course where you hone your on-air skills, radio reporting, play-by-play of football, baseball, basketball, hockey, and also color commentary, which you do.
Yeah, color commentary is a skill that is difficult to learn because it's not something that you really prepare for. In terms of those jobs are usually filled by former coaches, former players, older people, writers who have been around the game. So it's a skill that if you're able to break into, like we both have had a chance to throughout our careers, it's a skill that you'll be able to learn in this class. And I think the experiences, you can just see the number of different things. You do all of this in a week. It's very intensive, but it gives you the groundwork that if you do all of this for a week and you come back for a second year, you go out to a college or you go out to get a professional job, you'll have the groundwork in a number of different areas, which is important.
Yeah, jumpstart you. When you go to college, a lot of the students who come to Hofstra took these courses or course as a teen, came to Hofstra, and they got a big jump on the rest of the crew and became station managers, sports directors. They really got big jobs at the radio station here at Hofstra. You notice also anchoring. All of the three courses will have you sitting at an anchoring desk and reading off a teleprompter.
Which is a skill.
It is a skill, and it's an important skill for you to learn. Let me talk a minute about the what I call the video backpack, which is the intermediate course, basically for the ones who've taken the teens, who've taken the original course. The second step of that is to move into a video backpack course where we're going to teach you where you see state-of-the-art. We're going to teach you how, one, you've got to learn how to do interviews. We're going to teach you that. After you learn how to do the interviews, we're going to teach you how to shoot the camera, how to operate the camera. Then you're going to go out in the field, and you're going to use the camera and do the interview at the same time. One person does this. Then you bring it back, the tape. You're going to physically edit the tape, write the script that we call bridges, put them into a package and record that. And you're also going to be able to anchor a whole sportscast. And we may do some table discussions. We're talking about doing round table discussions and showing you how to shoot the video for that and also produce it. So there's a lot of things you can do here. Again, you're going to get a copy of everything you have. You see interviewing coaches, the field trip to that we talked about, going out to the Long Island Ducks. We'll also interview coaches here at Hofstra. Maybe we'll go over the Islanders. We'll talk to Mike Bossy. We've done that before. And the big thing, I think, is you get a copy of all this work to take with you.
Right, exactly. That's something that's crucial, and you can use it, as we talked about a lot, for the teens heading into college, using that as a demo tape to help get you into your campus radio station or your campus TV station. But we've mentioned the names, Ed, of these courses thus far, and it's time to, I guess, give a little bit more of a background on what these three specific courses are all about.
Yeah, we talk about getting the students, the young ones, the 7th through the 12th grade, teaching to write. And how to articulate, but build their confidence up. I'm a great believer in you are as good as your confidence is. So we want to create a situation where they're comfortable in the classroom, they go at their own rate, build their confidence, allow them to articulate better. And the most important thing, you got to find your passion in life. You must find your passion. Whatever that is, you get a dream, and you let the dream live. You don't let anybody tell you can't do it until you try.
Absolutely.
So, and all the things we talked about before for the teens and also for the adults of going out to sites, shooting TV, play-by-play, talk shows, and we're going to have guests come in too. We're going to bring in other mentors who are in the field, people who have a long and illustrious career will talk to these students.
Well, here are the overview of the teens camp. Now, this is different, as we highlighted before. The teens camp is for grade 7 through 12. That backpack journalism course that you talked about before, that is H1016, which we'll get to in a second. But this is just the introduction to sportscasting for the teens, and you really do get hands-on experience. And as we said before, we lay the groundwork of every single thing you can do as a sportscaster in this very intensive week. And it's only a week.
Tired too.
Exactly. It sounds intensive, but for about 10 hours a day, we teach you everything that you need to know in order to really lay that groundwork and make it in the business.
It seems like 10. It's only 8. It seems like 10. But, yeah, the thing about this that I love about the teens is they grow so rapidly in this week. Mm-hmm. You see what they're like on Monday and you see it Friday. There's a huge growth spurt in terms of their confidence, their ability to articulate, their knowledge, and how they feel about themselves. And you can see the dates are up there, the time, the tuition, all the stuff you need to know. We give you those field trips. You get a T-shirt. Even I get a T-shirt.
They give you one too.
Yeah, it says I'm the boss. It says, I say the boss, but so this is an opportunity for you to grow as a person, for you to have some fun, and begin networking too. And you know, as a young person going out in the field, how important it is to start to network.
No, it's incredibly important, and we'll get to some of those guest lecturers in just a bit, but meeting those people and maintaining the contact with them, but also maintaining the contact with some of the instructors like myself, like you, like the other people that we'll bring in that will be there on a daily basis is important, even if it's not to get you a job down the line. It's just for some advice and some critique on how to keep your career moving.
Well, we talked a little bit about the sportscasting for teens. Now, the intermediate sportscasting for teens, I talked about the video backpack. All the things you do in terms of, we want to make you a all-purpose person because you wind up doing it all. And that's the way this business is moving. This business years ago, when you went out to shoot something, you had a reporter, you had a producer, you had a cameraman, you had a sound man, a lighting man, a woman. Those have all gone away basically, especially in the smaller stations where you shoot the whole thing yourself.
Right.
So it's important for you to learn how to cut the tape, learn how to do the interviews, learn how to write the scripts, and then air it. And we certainly have the equipment to do. You work with the equipment all the time in terms of the video equipment.
Right, and you might think that going into this as a younger person that you just want to be on air. And it's certainly a possibility to do that, but you're going to have to work your way at some point in this field to editing yourself and working the camera. And I think these are tools, just learning to appreciate what those people do. Even if you don't have to do it yourself, if you appreciate what the hard work that your cameraman is going through if you're a reporter, or those lighting people are going through it. It gives you the appreciation of those relationships and the editors and just how hard they work, instead of it's just being the reporter that makes the story. It's actually all the team of people that really puts what you see on the news or on a sportscast come together every single day.
One of the things I found out in the business is it's important to learn the other person's job. Right. So if you're the sportscaster, you're the talent on the air, you want to know what that producer's doing. And it's good for you to do some producing because then you understand their problems. Mm-hmm. It's the same man with the camera person. The more things you understand, you know, that you can do, and the knowledge of knowing allows you to do a better job yourself because you're understanding what the other person's problems are. And the other thing, too, is this is a day of convergence where you have to be able to write, you have to be able to do radio and television. It's all these medias coming into one person doing all this stuff. So you're going to have to learn all this and keep up with the technology on top of it, probably down the road to be a complete, whatever you want to be, broadcaster.
And as you can see at the bottom of our list of bullets here, you get a chance to write, shoot, edit, and voice an on-camera package. You can have it for your demo reel, and you might not get a chance to even do that. You could graduate college if you don't take advantage of the opportunities without a chance to do that, and it's difficult to then get a professional job if you don't have that. So as a teen, it's something to get a big head start on a lot of other people your age, and that's what's very important. And as we get a chance to look at some of the dates and etc. for this camp again, which I think is important, especially once you have that groundwork framed from the introduction to help to advance yourself as not just a broadcaster, but just as an overall person in journalism.
Now, I think you have to understand that it's important for you as a potential broadcaster to learn as many different talents as you can, because when you go out and look for a job, you may not find your first choice available. You may have to settle for something else and work your way back to that first choice. But you've got to be able to do more than one thing in the business. You can see this video backpack, the price and dates on that. It's Monday through Friday. There'll be a lot of work going on inside the studio and outside the studio. Now the adults, well, the course is very similar, quite frankly, in terms of what you're going to learn. The difference is the talent level, because you have people who are older. We expect a little better talent. We expect a little bit of perhaps accomplishing more quickly. Yep. We find that when we get people for this course are college students who go to college somewhere. They're not getting from the college exactly what they want for broadcasting. So they'll look around and they say, I really need some hands-on experience and really get down to the nuts and bolts of the business. So they come here and we teach you nuts and bolts. We're nuts and bolts guys.
Right, we've seen a lot of students like that who have advanced themselves. They've gone back to college the next year and done a good job, whether it be at their campus radio station or their campus television station, and laying that groundwork that it's not too late. Just because you might be a 20-year-old junior in college, it doesn't mean it's too late to get started on your sportscasting career. If you didn't take the teen camp or you didn't do that in your first few years at college, this is a good way to accelerate that process.
And I had a student who came in from the what is considered the top broadcasting school in the Northeast to take the course here, and he said, you're giving me more here in 5 days in terms of mentoring, hands-on experience than I got from the school. So it's important, if you are a broadcaster or aspiring broadcaster, that you really learn all the different things that you need to do in terms of becoming a broadcaster, all the different elements of it. And, the thing, too, we get older people. I've had retirees come and take this course.
Yeah.
And some of them have started second careers. They say to me, do you think I can do this? Do you think I can make a living? I said, look, I never discourage people. I always tell them, chase your passion. You don't know what's out there. You may be able to make a career out of it, and then you may not. But some of the people have gone ahead in their 40s and 50s and recreated their careers and gotten involved in sportscasting. Again, you may not find exactly what you want, but you'll get something that gets you in the business. It may be behind the scenes, but it does allow you to become connected to something you really appreciate. So here you look at the people who we're talking about, who comes in. I'll talk about a few. You talk about a few. Kenny Albert, Len Berman, and Mike Breen are the three top names in terms of what people are recognized. Albert, of course, he does all the games on Fox football.
Yes, I think he's the only guy currently to do all four major sports.
He does hockey, he does everything. And Breen, of course, does the Knicks. He does ABC's Game of the Week. Len Berman was just, in my mind, was the best New York City sports reporter in terms of the years on the local channels. He was phenomenal. He is basically retired from the business, but he comes in every year and gives you really some outstanding tips, how you get jobs, what you need to do. Freddie Coleman is a talk show host up at ESPN, and you see a guy like Barry Landers been around forever.
And Barry Landers, for 17 years, was the play-by-play voice on the radio for the New York Islanders. He's got a ton of stories, knows a ton of different people, and really gives some great advice. Spencer Ross, a guy that you've worked with a lot during your time, another veteran sportscaster in New York, has done seemingly everything during his career. And another name for those of you maybe are interested in sidearm reporting, or you ladies who are trying to get involved in the business and see that as a possible avenue, Tracy Wolfson's best in the business. She's someone who works, you watch the NCAA tournament, you watch NBA games, she's pretty much at every one as the top sideline reporter in the business right now.
Do you know that she took first-year course when I taught this course? Tracy Wolfson came to me and said, I don't know anything about sportscasting, but I want to be a sportscaster. And years later, she came to me and she said, you guys did a great job in teaching me, because I now have a job that those days she was at MSG, and she was just starting at CBS. But she comes in and recounts the trials and tribulations of going through this, of being a woman sportscaster, of taking the course, and she really is the model of what we want, because she's one of our students who achieved greatness in the business. And, of course, there also John Martin comes down. He's the head guy of ESPN programming and talks about the business itself. Because there are people, not everyone wants to be a broadcaster. There are some people who want to get involved in production and programming. We find we have a good trip. You and I.
It's a ton of fun.
Yes, yeah. Tell them what we do out there.
Well, Long Island Ducks, obviously Atlantic League independent baseball team out in central Islip, so only about 40 minutes away here from Hofstra on Long Island, and it's a ton of fun because everybody loves the environment of being out at the ballpark, especially on a nice day, and you go out there, you get a chance to do the interview with Kevin Baez, the manager. You do an update, which is very cool to have in the background, everything that's going on, batting practice and etc. with those guys warming up for the game. You get a chance to be in the press box, and then afterward, as long as the weather's okay, you can stay as long as you want. We'll stay there with you, and you do live play-by-play of a baseball game. And a lot of times during the week, you're stuck in the classroom practicing your play-by-play and color commentary off of a videotape off the screen. This time you get an actual chance to go out and do a live game, sit in the stands at the ball field, and it's really a real fun experience.
I love it, especially the weather's okay. If it rains, we have a place to go where we're protected from the weather, but it's get a chance to eat the hot dogs, eat those dogs, man, drink that soda, watch those games. Life is good, right?
Exactly.
Boy, I did enough of that in my life. So here you see some of the tuition discounts. Early registration. If you register by June 3rd, that's $100 off. You also tuition discounts eligible for the adult sportscasting program. Got to do that by July 1st. And there's also interest-free tuition, which is very good. So there's enough different ways in which you can get involved here. Save a few bucks, which is always good.
Always good.
Yes, I like saving money. I guess I haven't done a good job of still doing this. No, I love what I do. Again, I want to emphasize the fact that you have to find out in life what you want to do. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you have to find out what you don't want to do.
Yes.
But I think most people have come through and taken these courses have realized how much they would like to do them. And they also get an idea, hey, this is not easy.
No, it's not, but this is, as we said before, very important because it lays the groundwork of what you want to do if you want to be a sportscaster. But also, even if you find out that this isn't what you want to do and you don't want to go into sportscasting, it helps you with communication and just being a better communicator as a person, learning to speak up, learning to deal with people, which is an important skill in any field, whether you want to go into business or you want to go into law, you'll have to learn how to communicate.
And I'll tell you what, as an older person, I really enjoy working with people, especially the young people, because they really energize me.
They keep you young.
Absolutely, they do. They energize me. You'd be holding me up if we weren't so young. Being around you is enough to stimulate me, and how much I learn from young people is important because they teach me as well as I teach them. So you'll see some of the details there, and I think some people will probably be calling with some questions or with questions coming in as to what need to be answered here.
Yes, first off, as you see, those information sessions held with Ed on Tuesday the 2nd and Monday in July, 6 to 7 p.m. in Dempster Hall, and register. As you can see the link up there, and for more information, we'll put the link up for you right now. There's the link to visit ce.hofstra.edu/sportsjournalism or call 516-463-5909 or, again, 516-463-7800. But we do have some questions. First off, Ed, for you, if we're coming to the camp, how do I dress for it?
Very casually, thank you very much. Most of us wear shorts. The only time that you're required to get dressed up is when you have a TV assignment to go out and you're on camera. In that case, you need to bring a shirt, a colored shirt, a tie, and a jacket. You can still wear shorts because they only shoot you from the waist up. So that's pretty easy in terms of dress attire. It's pretty easy.
We highlighted it a little bit in the slideshow, but another question from one of our viewers, do we have to bring our own food, or do we have to provide our own transportation when we head out to the Ducks game?
No, we have a bus that takes the teenagers out to the Ducks game. You don't have to bring your own food because we're going to supply you with food. We're going to supply you with drinks. We're going to have water. We're going to feed you lunch. So unless you're an enormous eater.
Snacks, too.
Yes, some snacks.
Yes, you get home.
Snacks. I mean, unless you eat 20 pounds of food a day, then you're in good shape here. So the idea, we want to keep you in-house and keep you moving, keep you working, too. So there's a motive to our madness. We want to keep the train moving.
Another question coming in, do I have to have any experience before these workshops in order to take them?
No, you don't have to have any experience. But what I suggest is that if you're going to take these workshops, here's what you should do. You should start practicing now. And it's very easy to do today because of modern technology. If you want to play-by-play, just go on television, for example. Put on a game. Put on a Yankee game, a Mets game. Pull down the rosters and some stats and game notes beforehand. Turn off the sound. Make yourself a scorecard and call the game. Whatever the sport is, some of them are harder to do. Baseball, sometimes you can't see the entire field. Basketball is probably the easiest, I think, to do on television. But you can do that, and then what you can do then, Kevin, is you can go back and listen to what you've done. I would tape the game, too, because when I go back and listen, I'd say, okay, I had a real problem calling this play. Maybe the scrum on the floor, the ball changes hands 3 times in 5 seconds. Then I go back and I can rack that tape up and go back and forth and call that play over and over again until I get better at calling that play. I find that's a technique that is very good and allows you to jump start so that when you come here, you're in a position where you're a little bit ahead of the game maybe. Also, it's easy to write.
Right.
Now, what you want to do is you take a copy from ESPN and rewrite it. But you want to rewrite in broadcast style. Now, that's something we can't go into too much time here, obviously,
right.
But there is a difference in the style of writing between the written word for print and broadcasting.
We'll teach you that.
Different. That's what we teach. Right. That's our job.
Finally, last question that we have coming in, unless anybody else has any that are watching and want to submit to us, but final question that has been submitted, Ed, how do I prepare for these workshops if I'm coming to them?
Well, that's what you do. What I just mentioned about what you're going to do, the other way you can prepare for us is to go out into in the stadium, a Little League game even, and call it live. I mean, that's literally how I did some of my games when I started. When I was playing stickball, I used to call the play-by-play.
I did too.
Well, so I had to preoccupy myself, right, and other things. But you can do that. You can read a lot, read about sports, become knowledgeable about what knowledge is power in life, not money. Knowledge is power. The more you know, the more effective and more productive you're going to be. So read a lot about the subject matter. Come in here with a real good knowledge of what's going on. The first day you walk in the class, you know what happened Sunday. It's Monday, you know all the games that happened Sunday. So when you sit down to write a radio sportscast, you already have a good idea of what happened. And you can also be prepared when you take the course. There's something you can go home at night and do your spotter boards for the play-by-play, work on that. So there'll be some homework on this involved in this, too.
Right, and again, as we're not trying to talk over your head for those of you who might be confused by spotter boards or different words, these are all different skills. These are all things that you're going to learn by taking this course, whether you're a teen, whether you're an adult, or if you're interested in that intermediate course, which will be some different things that you will learn. But these are all the basic tools that will lead you to hopefully have well and great, prosperous careers like we all hope to, like you did, Ed, for 15 years and going.
Hey, listen. Another thing about the course is you have fun.
No, it's a ton of fun.
We love to have fun, all right? And that's what you're going to have when you take these courses. You're going to meet some very interesting people and maybe plot yourself a career. And as I said at the beginning, you won't have a job, you'll have an adventure. Yep. That's what you want in life. I'm Ed Ingalls, and you're?
I am Kevin Dexter. Thanks so much for watching and listening, everybody.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.